Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to have some Division 18 ranked online gameplay, and in this gameplay here we are going to be coming up against the 12th ranked person in the world right now, as you can see through the screenshots on the screen. The first one was I think ranked 28th, which was after the fight we're having here. As you can see, he had slightly more points, but obviously after our fight that changed. And the 12th ranked was from today. I was streaming, and then I checked the leaderboards and I saw that he was on there. I always like to check the leaderboards just to see some of the names, because often or not you will come up against them. And shout out to my guy Scouting, who I think when I was checking the leaderboards today was like 69th or something like that. Obviously you got the usual, like the Goats, Pry, Crooks, all those guys that are always up there. It's just nice to see, so you can have an idea, get a proper gauge of who you're going to be coming up against. And also just want to say thank you to everyone that's been supporting the channel, leaving likes, joining the streams. Shout out to everyone that watched today. And yeah, it just means a lot. And if there's any content suggestions, please let me know in the comments below and I'll get around to recording it. But here, I knew my opponent was going to be good. Obviously I saw the skill points, but whenever someone picks Conor McGregor at welterweight, you know they must be a good fighter, because he's not the greatest. Obviously he's still got his power, still dangerous with the combinations, he's still got very slick boxing. I went with the Leon Edwards pick, and I feel like Leon Edwards is still not used as much as he should. I try sim using Leon Edwards, I try to be realistic as possible. Obviously Leon in real life likes throwing the elbows out of the clinch, he's got good takedowns, very clean kickboxing. But in this fight here, you'll see that I think 99% of the fight is on the feet. I don't think I go for a takedown attempt that I can remember, and which is rare for me, because like I always say in all my videos, I'm not the best when it comes to standing up. I'll put my hands up, but when it comes to against fighting these elite guys, I'm not the greatest. So the fact I was able to stand with my opponent here, who's ranked 12th in the world, for as long as I did, and as many rounds as we did, you know, it was a big thing for me. It shows that my stand-up is slowly improving. And the one thing I've noticed more so is that I'm really starting to read the strikes better. Like I'm getting away, avoiding most of the strikes, and I feel like, yeah, I've just got a better gauge for everything that's going on. But coming in against McGregor, you've got to be careful, of course, with the boxing combinations and the power especially. And quickly, just to break down the game plan going into this, is of course the first round of a 5-round fight. Like I say, I always sort of tend to take that off. I try to pick up on my opponent's habits, pick up on little patterns that can really help me down the line. And I try to find just little mistakes in my opponents, whether it's he's throwing the same strike too often, or he circles a particular way, or he dips his head a particular way. I try to download all that information so that I can look to exploit it in the rounds following. But with McGregor, there's always a clear game plan. And of course that's to not get hit with any big power shots, so be careful when I'm inside boxing range. Really look to take out my opponent's leg and drain my opponent's gas tank, and that's exactly what I'm going to look to do. So you'll see that I'm throwing leg kicks, and you'll see that I'm really working the body, and I'll just throw a 1-2, then I'll go to the body, I throw the hooks to the body, and I'm trying to mix up how I go to the body, because if I get caught with an uppercut, that could change the whole outcome of the fight. And as you can see, landing the leg kick, being patient, throwing fakes where possible. And I don't like to throw fakes too much, because one thing I've noticed when you get into the higher divisions is that sometimes you'll come up against an opponent that's constantly faking. And as a result of that, is that I know the opponent's not actually going to throw that strike, and I end up catching them with something else. So I'm always cautious. I only fake when I need to. I don't want to overcomplicate things. And as you see, I'm trying to sneak in the knees as well when I'm inside. Good roundhouse to the body. And I'm switching stance on occasion to give my opponent different looks, because when you're coming up against these higher level players, you may find that you have success for the first 2-3 rounds, and then over time they figure out how you're implementing your strikes. And one thing I'm doing is that I can see my opponent's being the aggressor right now in terms of controlling the octagon, really pushing me and pressing me back. Obviously after that first round, I think my opponent wanted to get some respect back, and what I did there was I didn't back away and ended up forcing my opponent back, and now I'm controlling the centre of the octagon, which is really where I want to be. But when I'm getting trapped towards the fence, it's different, because I'm not coming up against the grappler, so I don't have to worry about him clinching me, taking me to the cage. and dragging me down in theory. Obviously, if he was using someone like a Gilbert Burns that was more grapple dominant, I'd have to be wary about staying away from the cage. The only thing I am worried about is getting trapped against the cage with McGregor is just because of the power, and he can just shred through my block. So you will see that when my opponent does push me towards the cage, I'll try to use my head movement and footwork to rotate away from there and quickly just nullify that position, because like I said, I don't want my block to just get completely broken, which is why sometimes you'll see me slip punches without having my block up, just because I don't want it to get absolutely shredded. And as you can see, I'm just being extremely patient. I'm trying to keep my stamina as high as possible. And this is where I'm on about that my opponent's trying to trap me here. So I throw some strikes, absorb some. As you can see, we sway, we get away there, and now we've rotated the position. He went for the slip elbow, which we predicted, and nothing came of it. And I'm just doing a good job of just moving, rotating around. My footwork's at the moment holding up well, and you'll see that this last 45 seconds here, I'm not sure what happened this round, but it became extremely laggy. That goes away the next round, so don't worry about that. I kind of just stopped to look at my opponent, and he was like looking at me as well. I think we both realised that, okay, it's extremely laggy. We both didn't really want to commit. Like, the strikes I'm throwing are so incredibly delayed, and at this point I was thinking, okay, look, he's going to end up knocking me out somehow. So I've stepped back just so we're not striking, not hitting each other. And as you can see, my opponent was still going for strikes. Then we get that leg health event, which is big, because in terms of round scoring, that might actually give me the advantage. So that's the end of round 2. Unfortunately, obviously, the lag towards the end wasn't ideal, but yeah, coming into round 3, that lag does go away. Like I was saying, I'm really not sure what happened there. I'm coming into round 3, done a good job so far of hurting the leg. As you can see, we got that leg health event in the round prior. Done a very good job of working the body, especially without getting hit with an uppercut, which is crucial, because McGregor's uppercuts are just so strong. And I feel like I'm doing a good job of exploding at the right times. As you see, head movement is working really well. And I've taken a lot of inspiration from watching GOAT. He uses Leon Edwards a lot. I think Leon might even be his favourite fighter to use. And I'm trying to mimic some of the sort of combos he uses, or just some of the patterns. And with Leon, you can just fight so confident. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could work in a takedown. As you can see, he went for the double uppercut there. And thankfully, because he hit the first one, he didn't manage to get the second, because if he landed both, that definitely would have been a stun. Maybe even a knockdown. And as you can see, he's trapping me here towards the fence, and again rotating away, because I do not under any circumstance want to get trapped there, because once I'm trapped, I'll probably have to shoot for a double leg or shoot for some sort of takedown just to get out of that position. And you can tell that in this round in particular, my opponent's been a lot more aggressive. And one thing that I've noticed right now is he's starting to make adjustments. He's slipping the straight, and then he's throwing a slip straight. He's working the body now, so my opponent's started to step up the game, going for the head kicks, mixing in combinations, and he's starting to intercept my combos with uppercuts and slip straights. You can see we do a good job there of catching the teep kick, and he goes for it again. And right here now is where I need to make adjustments, because my opponent's adjusted very well in this round. And again, I'm not panicking, I'm remaining calm. I'm not really going to deviate for the game plan. I'm still going to look to work my opponent's body and leg health, because at the end of the day, that's what will end up winning me the fight. Once I take my opponent's legs, it mitigates the power. And McGregor's obviously so powerful, that's an extremely important factor. And we ripped the body there with 2 hooks, and then we got that body health event, which again is massive, because that just wore down his cardio a lot. His endurance is really shocked by that. It really hurt, and I could tell, because after my opponent sort of just stood there, was trying to regain that stamina, and that's crucial. So we're just going to try to build off the success we're having in this round at the moment with the body work and the leg work, because obviously we've had the leg health event, we've had the body health event, and my opponent tries to trap me again towards the cage, and we rotate away. The knees are working really well now, we're mixing that in quite well. As you can see, I was trying to intercept my opponent's knee with the lead hook, but it just missed. That animation's really weird, because obviously when they land the knee, it sort of pushes you back, so you miss your hook. So unfortunately that's not landing. My stamina right now is on the lower half, on the lower end. We get the health event there, and then how beautiful would that have been if we got that finish? Obviously went for the flying knee, but it was just after the bell rang. But I was going to sneak that in. It's a shame there wasn't more time, because I genuinely think that may have, at the bare minimum, dropped my opponent. But obviously if he read it, he probably just would have swayed to the left and then hit me and then ended up knocking me out, because that's just how much power McGregor has. Obviously, right now McGregor's fighting out of an orthodox stance. It sort of limits the combinations and stuff and the power. I don't know what his switch stance is at welterweight, but I can't imagine it being too good. Don't have the exact number, but it's just because of the work that we've been putting in, chewing up the leg. As you can see, now we're throwing the roundhouse to the body, snuck in that beautiful elbow, and the range, the distance management's been very good in this fight. And then he took me down here, which was very surprising, and then he gets on top and he looks for a bit of a ground and pound. So in my eyes there, he took me down just to get some points, because then obviously he got straight back up. I was very surprised when he did go for the takedown, especially because he was the one to initiate the grappling. I thought, if anything, just because of the matchup, it would have been me. But again, I'm taking the positives out of this, and as you can see, he's starting to rip my body a bit. And this is going to be quite controversial, what I'm going to say here, but in this fight here, I wasn't overly worried about the body, just because I know I've done a lot of body damage to my opponent. I just didn't want my head health to get to a position where it's so low that anything rocks me, just because with how precise McGregor is and how much power he is, and how easy it is to block break, I didn't want my opponent to utilise all those things and get an easy knockout win, or just get easy take that easy knockdown. So with that being said, that's why I wasn't overly concerned about the body damage. Yes, it's not ideal because my body is flashing, but I've always got the possibility of intercepting my opponent with a knee if he goes to my body, or an uppercut. And as you can see, I am doing a good job in catching the kicks, the roundhouses to the body, which is what's going to do a lot of damage. So yeah, that's why I'm not too worried about my body health right here. So he's pushed me here, we rotate away, and we're back in the centre of the octagon. And this round in particular, I've been a bit more passive, my opponent's been more aggressive, but that's been the common theme of the rounds as they've gone on, is that my opponent will start off extremely aggressive, and then somehow, some way towards the end, that'll whittle away, and I'll start picking up my opponent's legs, picking up the body, and then we'll get a stun. And when my opponent landed that head kick, as you can see, because my head health's in a good position, it didn't end up getting a stun or a knockdown, which is crucial, because if my opponent had my health a little bit lower, the head health a little bit lower, that could have really changed the fight. So with 25 seconds left to go on this round, pushing, get the uppercut, and this has been how the fight's gone, is as I was saying, is that my opponent will do some good work, really hurt me. As you see, he lands 3 roundhouses in a row there, which isn't ideal, but that's how most of the rounds have been going, is that my opponent will be pressing, and then I'll get the stun, and it completely changes the momentum. And the way the rounds are scored is based off damage, so it doesn't matter if you're landing more, if you're controlling more. It's a damage based scoring system, so the more damage you do, you will win the round. So if I throw 40 punches and you throw 40 punches but I get the stun, I will win that round. So just because of the stuns I've been getting, I am in control of this fight. I'd like to know what you guys were scoring at, because I think coming into this round, if I remember correctly, when I was playing, I think I had myself either 3-1 or 2-2. So I thought I needed a big round here. I think either way, my mindset was I needed a huge round. That's why you can see that I'm pressing quite a lot. I know my opponent's gas tank isn't in the best position here. That's why I keep going to the body. You'll see that I throw that lead, I throw the jab to the body. And that's something I've mimicked from Aldo in real life. He does that quite a lot, and I like implementing that onto the game here. So I know I need a stun here, or I just need a big event, preferably a stun, and the round will be mine. And then from that, I can sort of see out the round. As you can see, we get the body health event there, and then we keep working to the body, and those knees over time have just done so much damage. The knees, the roundhouses, the jabs, the hooks. It's all led up to this moment now that where any knee just really hurts my opponent. So we get the knockdown here with 2 minutes and 22 seconds remaining. Throwing a lot of strikes there, really emptied the gas tank, and now we're on top of my opponent. So here I was really just looking to, I can see out the round. I wanted to get into side control, do some damage from here. And you see my opponent goes for that transition. We get the good deny. Throw the elbow there. And as you can see, this is something a lot of high level players do in the higher divisions. They'll just keep spamming this transition so you literally cannot do anything. It's incredibly annoying, incredibly frustrating. But it works, you know. It protects them. He then got me back into half guard. And then from here you can see he's just throwing strikes to build up his GA. I'm being patient. Posture up here, go for strikes. And I didn't want to throw too many so you could get up easily. We've got 54 seconds left and we're back on the feet. So I've had the knockdown there. We'll go for a leg kick. And you can tell by McGregor's posture that there just isn't much stamina left. We throw that knee. And I was debating going for the another knee there, but then the knee to the head, the flying knee, but I didn't do it just because I didn't want to get countered. And we get him onto the ground, and I believe he rage quits here. So yeah, let me know what you guys scored that fight. That was me playing the 12th ranked guy in the world. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.